chat's been nice, guys, but I really want to get onto the Scotland-Ireland game. I'm so fucking excited. Like, it's huge.
Are you really, though?
Yeah, I genuinely am.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how excited you are.
Very.
Like, is this the biggest game Scotland's had in how many years?
Biggest game ever, I'd say.
Ever? I think that's an exaggeration, James.
Give me another one.
Well, they've won a Grand Slam. In
When?
19, I don't know, but they've won
Exactly.
one. So surely that was their biggest
when it was
game,
the Five Nations.
Yeah.
It is a big
You've
statement.
had knockout games. You played in the quarter-final.
Yeah, but
So it's a group game bigger than a quarter-final in a previous World Cup.
I'll tell you why it's the biggest game, right?
Because it's now.
Because it's now, and because the profile of our team is never going to be as good as it is now. And it's easy to say, well, in 4 years, Finn could go till he's 40.
He ain't going again.
I don't know if he goes again. I don't know if Shirley Tuipulotu goes again. I don't think Duran van der Merwe goes again.
Why are you retiring all the boys before they're even out the comp on Sunday?
I'm putting pressure on them to deliver. We're struggling with what's coming through, speaking frankly. Our under-20s, I mean, Uruguay are on the way up, but they got beat by Uruguay in the under-20s tournament, which was played in Kenya. Lovely spot, climb Mount Kenya, but that's not where the big teams go and play, is it? So,
you nearly died on Mount Kenya, didn't you?
no, not me. Reece Gill did.
Yeah.
I saved a life.
Oh, that
I
was
saved
it,
a couple of lives,
Yeah.
but Scotland were playing rugby out there, so no disrespect to the Tier 2 under-20s, but this
We need to get away from saying Tier 2. They're just another nation.
Yeah, I know. There's
should
an
be
old school element.
World Rugby, Jim Hamilton's next chore
Yeah.
post-World Cup.
Yeah.
But go back to it, go on.
So for them reasons, Scotland's biggest game. Like it's the World Cup. It's against the world number one. We have to package it. I say we, everyone is, that this is Scotland's biggest game.
It's the last game of the World Cup for them.
We'll see. The
I don't think so.
permutations around it.
Mate.
Well, what are you basing that on? Because have I convinced you
Maybe.
over our chats?
I'm just excited because like you've got backs that can score tries. So you've got world-class back three. If you guys get it right up front, if you get some parity, and if it is one of those physical encounters and you can match them blow for blow and hang in there, you've got game breakers that can score tries and get the bonus point.
Ask me the question then.
Do you think you can win?
Yeah.
No.
Hand on heart, I genuinely think we can win. So good, stop being horrible now.
I'm
because
not.
you've
I'm
picked
being honest.
Ireland.
I'm being honest, mate.
This is crazy, right? So, think about it this way. Scotland beat Ireland and deny Ireland a bonus point.
So win by 8 points.
So win by 8 points.
Or more.
And deny Ireland getting 4 tries, because then we're going down a rabbit hole of trying to work out some ridiculous permutations. The world number one team are out
Yeah.
of the World Cup.
And if you pick 6 lottery numbers, and they're the correct lottery numbers on Euro Millions, you can win £100 million sometimes.
And by Gloucester.
I get it all.
It's the impossible challenge. Do you
You
think...
just said it, it's the
give us
impossible challenge.
Give us... All right. Well,
So your language there, impossible.
Take out that you've said that Ireland are going to win it, and there's a part of... If Ireland beat Scotland at the weekend, I'd love to see Ireland go all the way.
Yeah.
I love South Africa. I'd love to see
You're not
Ireland
going
go all
to
the
be
way.
English again if Scotland are out.
No, I'd love to see Ireland win it.
Yeah, but you're English.
I'm a quarter English.
Yeah.
But this is based on friends of the show.
Yeah.
This is based on
I hear you.
being in Dublin, all the things that you spoke about.
Yeah.
But I don't want Ireland to win. I want Scotland to win. I'm happy
Yeah.
to say that.
Yeah.
What % chance do you give us? Or be honest, so put your expert head and...
Well, my take on it, and I get the whole excitement, and I'm excited about it as well. Don't get me wrong; it's a huge game, and Jim talks it up on TV, and there's a lot of people now going, "Oh, the pressure's on Ireland," and blah 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 blah. They've never got past the quarterfinal in a World Cup. Let's just be frank about this. No matter what has happened or what would have happened in this group, Ireland were always going to have to beat Scotland to qualify for the knockouts. It's not like all the pressure's on them because if they lose, they're out. They're always going to have this mindset of we're going to try and beat South Africa, which they've done. Obviously, they were going to win all their other games. They always had to beat, because of the way the pool is set up, they're always going to have to win this last game to qualify. So it changes, to me, it changes nothing for Ireland because Scotland all of a sudden have got momentum and all this stuff. It was always going to come to this point of last game shootout for one or both teams to make it through to the knockouts. So I don't think the pressure changes on Ireland whatsoever until they dispatch Scotland by 20 and then get to a quarters next week against New Zealand. But there is a chance, of course there's a chance, because Scotland have some worldy players as we've listed. The big thing for me, and the rhetoric and the kind of angles that a lot of the Scots are coming out with, and I've said it on social media, I've said it on here, watching the game at the weekend, yes, they're only playing Romania, but they dispatched Romania in a manner where they can challenge Ireland. And I'm not comparing the two, but Scotland need a frenzied game. They need it broken up. If I'm to prove that if it's a slow, turgid game where it's all about the physicality, they can win it. They're beating the best in the world at that game in South Africa a few weeks back. So, and I listened to what you said and Geach said, and other people have said, John Barclay in the studio, and a lot of people around in the press and social media. They're all saying, "Oh, if Scotland can hang in there, and you have Darcy Graham on the bench and this player on the bench, then bring them on with 20 to go and blah, blah." I think that's quite a negative mindset.
I don't think that's the case.
No, I think it's a negative mindset where I think Scotland have basically got to go, this is our shot. It's a knockout game. You might as well put your game out there instead of losing by 10 or 15 and not, trying to match Ireland by going, oh, we need a line-out forward because they've got a great line-out, or we need to play Carl Steyn because they're going to box kick. They're going to box kick whoever's playing. So I think Scotland need to put all their eggs in the basket of players like Darcy Graham. And he got the question around Darcy Graham now, because he made the break against South Africa and didn't pass it. That's why Carl Steyn came in and he was put on the bench, wasn't he? And then the whole thing around Chris Harris and Hugh Jones and Hamish Watson. And a big one for you, I put it on social media. In Scotland, it's gone down like a shit sandwich, but a lot of people agreed as well. Jamie Ritchie as captain, and people are like, yes, but he has a line-out option. I think your best back rowers are Hamish Watson and Rory Darge in terms of impacts on a game. So for me, it's a big call. I don't think he'll do it, and he's a captain, so he's not going to do it. But there's loads of selection issues for him. Does he go conservative and try and match Ireland, or does he go fuck it with Scotland? We ain't going to die wondering. We're going to leave everything out there. Give Finn all the tools. So give him Darcy Graham, give him Hugh Jones. Hamish Watson, his ball carrying, and you talk about physicality, and that's sometimes where Scotland come up short. Hamish doesn't come up short in physicality, does he? He's a ball carrier that gets over the gain line, gets them go forward. Like, you watch him, any time he plays, he's bouncing off 3 or 4 defenders.
And he's desperate at the minute as well.
Yeah. So it's a lot of it will be around the mindset of Scotland. Are they thinking about themselves, or are they trying to match Ireland and hope for dear God that they can stay in the game? Because that, to me, that's a negative mindset.
That'd be disappointing
in a knockout game where if Scotland do what we've seen them do, where they're chucking everything at it, and Finn's got the keys to the Lambeau after 4 beers in the week, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and that's going to be around the selection we were talking about. And again, having sat on it, mentioned, I can see Carl Steyn starting, chatting to Goody about it. You can see them going down that route. There's nothing between, and people think this is crazy to say there's nothing between Darcy Graham if you go based on the weekend and his highlight reel. I say Carl Steyn because of the kicking. And does that matter? Potentially, when you've got Mac Hansen, James Lowe, Hugo Keenan, who are unbelievable in the air. But they're the massive decisions. In World Cups gone by, mentioned with Andy Robinson, we were going into team runs before, must-win games against England in the pool. We didn't know who was scrum half. We didn't know who the 7 was going in. He's got to be razor sharp with the lads. Like, this is how it's going to go down. This is the game plan, which they will have. Like, these are obvious things. But I think for the first time ever, we've never been clearer on what we need to do and the importance of the bench as well.
Yeah, but to me, it will speak volumes on his mindset. And when I say his, I mean Gregor's mindset on who he selects.
So I want you to talk about what Goody was saying about selection around whether you have Jamie Ritchie or Hamish Watson on the side of the scrum.
Or Rory Darge.
This is me guessing, but also what I would have. I think it's not impossible, but I don't think he drops Jamie Ritchie. I just don't think that happens. He is a line-out option.
Is he fully fit?
For sure. It comes down to it. He got knocked out against Tonga. Is he fully fit? Can he train? I think the lads need to be in a position to train all week. I think you have to be in that position. It can't be in this game. Maybe later on in the tournament, if they make a semi or teams in the semis and finals, the training load becomes less. But I think this week specifically, off the back of a team run against Romania, you need full noise. in training. So I think Jamie starts. I think Hamish starts. I think Hamish Watson's in at 7. Hamish has been through a load of injuries, a dip in form off the back of the British and Irish Lions tour. I've been talking about Rory Darge, and as good as Rory Darge is, he hasn't been as good as I've kind of said he has. And you've got Hamish Watson, who is a desperate player. I saw him in Nice, and he came to the beachside club that I was hosting for the SRU with Cam Redpath, and I was trying to have a laugh with him, and you could see he weren't there to take part. He was there to fucking take over. He wants to play. Like, he was like, man, I want in. Like, I'm not a dead dog and put me down. Like, I'm desperate to play. Like, and he was fuming. You could see. Did the event, walked off, played how he did against Romania, carrying the ball like he meant business. So I'd pick Hamish. I think they might go down that route. Jamie Ritchie, Hamish Watson, Jack Dempsey, and me.
You on the playing as well.
Imagine me playing, get snapped in two. Me? Oh, this is hot. People are going to hate it. I'd go Carl Steyn.
Idiot.
Carl
Steyn's not an idiot. Apologies for anyone.
Darcy Graham's one of my favourite players in the world.
You need X Factor to beat Ireland.
But Darcy Graham, is he making line breaks like we've seen against Romania when they were playing touch, like we saw against Tonga when he come on?
Like you saw against South Africa, but didn't pass it.
Yeah.
So he's done it in every game.
Like he did against New Zealand in the autumn.
And against England. I'm just thinking strategically for the first time ever.
You've got to throw the kitchen sink at this. You've got to score tries.
I'm a bit different to... Yeah,
so
you've got to throw tries.
Imagine this then. We're here next Monday.
Yeah.
And he started Carl Steyn and Chris Harris. Chris Harris, mate of mine, played with him at Newcastle. Great bloke. But you lose by 10 and it was like, we'll never know.
They played well, but we didn't score enough tries.
But if you go deeper into it, Gregor was talking, this is me, I've not got the stats in front of me. Scotland lived and have lived and live with Ireland up till 50 minutes. That's what Gregor's spoken about in the week. So you look at the games gone by, the ones where we've been in the game, we've only beaten them once in 10 years, and that was in 2017.
Did you play?
I played in the one 10 years ago. Got man of the match, guilty. That was the year of the Lions. But
hold on. You played
in 2013, not in 2017.
Right,
obviously.
that's what you just said.
No, 2013 got man of the match.
Yeah,
the year of the Lions. Oh, and it was the year of the Lions in 2017. Yeah. Beat them then as well. I weren't playing. No, I was with you.
Hold on, you've won it once in. You've beaten them once in 10 years.
Once in 10 years.
Yeah.
And this comes down to the point. 50 minutes. Gregor's been speaking about. They've been in the game and they've had opportunities. He's gone back and looked at probably every game over the last 4 years that they've played them since the last World Cup in 2019. So there's the argument. Stick with them to 50, put it on the bench. But look, we're talking going heavy on Scotland here. What do Ireland do? Do Ireland
full noise.
Go full noise?
Of course they do.
Of course they do.
Of course they do. This has been in Andy Farrell's mind for ages. Like, this is what I can't understand the people in the press. Like, as if Ireland have never known that they've got to beat Scotland to qualify for the knockouts.
You just said one word there, Andrew, which he keeps saying. Mind.
In his mind.
Mindset. Yeah. All Andy Farrell talks about is the mind and the pressure that Ireland are under, because
they ain't under. Like, people.
Imagine.
They're under pressure because if they lose by 8 or more and don't score 4 tries, they're out. So that's pressure. This isn't. You've never been past a quarter-final pressure.
I don't know. I think it is.
Well.
There's so much talk around it. Surely they hear it. Surely they hear the noise.
It's not a quarter-final, lads. It's technically a last 16 game. Which, I understand that everyone's going to throw it at them. And imagine it next week, if and when they beat Scotland. They're playing New Zealand. Yes, but you've never beaten anyone in a quarter-final. Then it grows.
But that's where they need. That's the question mark over Ireland, though, and that's where we will see with Andy Farrell. If you asked at the start, do I think Scotland can win? I do think there's
a pause
can win, but there is a pause. Of course, there is. Ireland are 16 games unbeaten.
Yeah,
beating the All Blacks.
What's the world record? 18.
I think so.
I think England got it
under Eddie, of all people. Yeah, it was the All Blacks.
Yeah,
I think they equaled it.
I think South Africa.
I think South Africa had 17. I think
England
All Blacks had 18.
Yeah, England. I think England equaled it. They didn't get it.
That's what I mean.
Outright.
That's right. They had it, and then they went to Scotland.
Yeah, that's
And
correct.
we were up there,
Andy
and John
Rowland for you.
Barclay came to the
Yeah.
live show, got on the
Yes.
hammer, and then
And
went
you
and destroyed and won the. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and
played-
you piped that bloke off, didn't I mean,
No.
piped John Barclay in.
Yeah, pipes off. That bloke nearly died
Yeah,
as
they
well.
like God, almost died.
Yeah, he nearly died by the stage.
Jeez,
But
we've lived, haven't we, on this podcast?
we have. There's a lot happened, and there's a lot happening now as we set the scene. So if Ireland are going to beat Scotland, win the quarterfinals, if they win this, they've got the longest unbeaten
World
run.
record.
They've got the world record. Fuck, the pressure's on for them.
Can Scotland attack their line out?
If Jim's playing.
No.
No?
Maybe, because their line-out was awful against South Africa, but they got Paul O'Connell, so they'll get that right. The question will come for Scotland, the crux of it, physicality. That's where we struggled against Ireland before, and that's where we saw Ireland, South Africa, the physicality. We saw South Africa versus Scotland, we struggled with physicality. We were better against Tonga, but we struggled at times around that. I mean, either way, it's going to be unbelievable.
Epic.
Saturday night in Paris. This is the one thing. I've got Ali McCoy's pitch side with me on Rugby Pass TV. Do I get him to turn around and rally the troops? He could rally the troops.
He should be in the changing room.
Forget Jarrod Butler. Ali McCoy, the great Scot.
He should be in the changing room with the lads, not with Jim Hamilton on the side of the
Yeah,
field.
we'll get him
Or
there.
Get him do both.
Just on that, actually, big shout out, because you talk about emotion leading up to games. So Kenny Logan and Ali McCoy and Jason Fox, there's a few actually, that they're cycling from Edinburgh to Paris with the match ball. Hopefully they...
Imagine the gooch.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the slime of the gooch isn't the slime on the ball, because
Yeah.
the balls have been slippy. The rugby balls have been slippy. They're delivering the match ball for the game. So the emotion around that, does that give us an extra edge? But it's going to be unbelievable.
You need all the help you can get.
We've been
So use
talking about it for weeks.
Use
We've been
it.
talking about it
Yeah.
for months, haven't
Yeah.
we? This has been the build-up for us. Imagine, forget Zombie. How's about fucking 500 males? And the Proclaimers. You know,
It'll
there's
be
no-
interesting to see the balance of the fan base as well in the stadium.
Oh.
Because the Irish, as you know, travel to many places around the world. And they travelled in their droves to Paris for the South Africa game.
There'll be a lot of bollocks hanging out. I'm telling you now.
There's going to be some skirts and sporrans. Are you going to wear your sporran and skirt? Pitch side? There's a challenge. If you believe that Scotland can win, you should wear your skirt, kilt and sporran.
I will see. Maybe I'll bring the skin deep.
Skin do!
Scotland win by 4.
Sorry, I thought you were joking. You serious?
I think Scotland win.
Ireland by 20. Pod.
Rugby pod.